Practice Podcast, where we cover the only sport in the world where there is no practice. With your mini rod driving host, Adam Kester, Tyler Slaw, and Chase Richardson. Strap in for some debates on the world of pulling, exclusive special guests, and a whole lot of nonsense BS. The No Practice Podcast starts now.
Good evening, everybody. It is Wednesday, November 15th.
We back again. Week 4. We back again.
And we're back. This is the No Practice Podcast with
Welcome.
The 3 most opinionated people in mini rod tractor pulling. And we are the
we're the only 3 that will get on camera, Adam. We're not the most opinionated.
Yes, and we are the number 1 pulling podcast in the world. And then on top of that, we are in the top 10% of global podcasts. That's 10% out of 3.2 million podcasts. We are in the top.
No. Well, hang on. We have thousands of fans already, but there's always haters. Let's prove this. Look at your screen. What is this right here? Did you make this back office guy, or is this real? Listen score. Top 10%.
Yes. Top 10% global rank. That is the top 10 most popular shows.
This is real.
3.2 million podcasts.
That's good stuff right there, boys.
Boys and girls, we're doing it big here on the No Practice Podcast. And
that's a 90% improvement. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Adam. This is already off the best start.
And I'm here with Tyler Slaw and Chase Richardson. It's been a couple weeks since I've both seen you guys. What's been going on, Tyler?
I've been rebuilding the carburetor on an old amphibious duck boat, trying to get that running so I can hit the river with it come springtime. It's going to be a good time. I think it'll drink beer very nicely.
Right on.
I'm getting cold chills about that percentage. That's a 90% improvement. You realize that episode 1 we were in the top 100%. We've got 90% better. So, Adam, if you get 90% better at pulling from this effect, you're going to be a bad SOB next summer.
That's right. Hey, if there was 3.2 million tractor pullers, I'm in the top 300,000 is what that equates to, which is pretty impressive. Yeah. But what about you, Chase? What have you been doing? I've heard you've had an exciting last couple of days. What have you been doing?
Well, first off, I'm looking forward to this is banquet season. Anyone that follows a sport, competitors, some fans may not know that, but what happens sometimes that the sport goes quiet and everyone kind of misses each other, and they get together at these banquets across organizations and get together with their friends November, December, typically, and act like a bunch of teenagers for the weekend. And we got that coming up this weekend. Tyler, I might see you this weekend.
Yes, I will be there. I would imagine we'll hang out at a couple of adult beverage establishments together. Perhaps get on a mechanical bull. It's usually a good
Pro Pulling League banquet is in Louisville, Kentucky, and it's this weekend. And they no, I'm not coming to outlaw your tractor, but maybe you should come in on Friday, or maybe, you know what? This is all about growing the sport. This is all about educating people. Maybe you should tell them how the rules system works and why it's unique for a Pro Pulling League banquet. I promise I'm not coming to outlaw your tractor, as if I could outlaw it anyway.
Yeah, so unlike the NTPA banquet where they just called Chase in and he got to make the rules because he's a board member, the PPL organization actually, with a set time, set schedule, set room at the hotel, everybody gathers in a roundtable discussion format and sits and talks about proposed rules, pros, cons, the reasons behind them, and everybody gets to voice their opinion. And I'm honestly a pretty big fan of that, even if somebody isn't necessarily running the class currently. If they're strongly considering it, they can sit in on that discussion, hear everybody's input and offer their own input as well. And to me, that is the most transparent, fair way to do that.
Wait a minute. Are we not gathering at somebody's trailer at a tractor pull to talk about the rules?
No. It's an on schedule gathering of everybody, a little formal invitation, if you will. And yeah, it's a good time.
It's actually a pretty cool dynamic because you have all season, and excuse my language, this is a family show pulling fans and new fans across the world, but people bitch all year long. And if I was a tech official, like if I was PPL, how they do it, I would say, thanks for your commentary. See you November 17th, Hyatt Regency, downtown Louisville, and give them the address. Like, because this sport is notorious for people just complaining in the middle of action. And I get it. Like, nothing's ever going to be perfect. I coached college basketball Division I for 10 years. People bitch in college basketball mid-year. It's just a competitive reaction. But if I was ever one of those guys, I would just say thank you for your commentary. November 17th. Go here to book your reservation. Happy to see you there at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I do it, and I pulled 2 PPL pulls this year on a per hook basis, so I probably won't be there. But
you'll be there. You'll be there.
If you need me to, I'll be there, but I won't be in the meeting. But if you need me to come, Tyler, and give my opinion on safety and mini rod pulling, I'd be happy to be your guest.
Yeah, maybe you should just hang out in the lobby and drink beer, and I'll fill you in.
I think that we'll have no problem doing that. So, Adam, you've been building motors for people, or what are you doing right now? Hang on. Are we allowed to ask you questions? Fans, by the way, please get involved. We're a top 10% podcast in the world. Tell your friends, tell your family, call your neighbors. Tell your kids if they're above 16 to tune this in. We want you all to be involved. So ask your questions. But Adam, can we ask you questions this show?
Sure.
Or are we not allowed to? Like, who bought your mini rod?
I'm still not going to tell. The guy it's gone. The tractor is no longer in the shop anymore. I got a new background here. We're trying some different things out here with the internet. Hopefully this all works well in here. But no, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings when I make this comment, but I've been busier than a West Virginia tooth fairy, man. I've been trying to work around the clock, trying to get some of these engines done for guys. Parts are kind of limited coming in and out. So it's kind of been slowing some projects down, but I'm trying my hardest to get everybody's stuff done. So I've been staying busy. We went down to Tennessee this past weekend. I went to a friend's joint like baby shower. So I'm in that mode now, which you guys don't understand. So we'll see where you guys get there. But I mean, pretty good weekend all in all. What about you, Chase? You talk about being a basketball coach. Did you run into some of your ex-players or something this past weekend? Maybe hang out with them,
play a little golf
that you can remember.
Touche. Coming back with a guy that says I'll never decline any question. I guess I will hold true to my colors. Have you ever seen the movie The Hangover?
I have.
One of the greatest movies of all time. For those of you who haven't,
are you the one-man Wolfpack? One-man Wolfpack?
Well, we all have friends at all parts of our life. And even though you don't always communicate and keep in touch, when you reconvene, it's just like nothing ever changed. Got together with some of my not guys I coached, but guys I went to college with. Some of my best friends in the world. I won't disclose their names here for public privacy, and plus, if I reveal some misinformation, I don't want people to look them up. But we got together last week. One of my friends was getting honored, and was a fun weekend. Well, we decided to go play golf on Friday, and everything's going really well and good golf game. Playing 18, front nine, running smoothly, having drinks, telling old stories, having a good time, and then we make the turn. For those of you who don't know golf, the turn is when you go from the 9th hole to the 10th hole, and it's kind of like a reset, and it reset very much so.
Right.
Back to my hangover reference, and this is honestly a public service announcement to just be careful out there, people. That this world's changing, and you got to watch what you do.
Chase, did you wake up with a tiger in your hotel room the next day?
Did you get roofied?
I woke up and I lost one friend. Like when I say lost, they didn't pass. Like I had, I take pride and I love my friends just like I love you too. I can't believe I said that on the air, but I lost a friend. Like he won't talk to me anymore. It's over. And that there's two others I'm trying to get back in it. But at the turn on the 10th hole, the guy who's getting honored decided like, hey, there's four of us out there playing golf. Everyone's a pretty good golfer. I'm okay golfer. And he's like, hey, this is my weekend. I love you guys being here. Let's do something for me. Referenced the hangover story. And I like to have a good time. I'll drink. I'm not a drug user, or I wasn't a drug user. And he hands us these candy bars, and Maya and me are actually like, dude, I don't do this. He's like, no, it's all good. Like, it ain't like that. Just chill. I love you guys. You got to do this for me. It's my weekend. We're in here together, and nothing's going to happen.
You got to watch.
It was packaged. It was packaged, and it had a barcode on it. So when I saw the barcode, I'm like, well, it can't be that bad, right? If something has a barcode, it's legal.
Yeah.
We took these chocolate candy bars, and
looks like you're still fidgeting from them.
About halfway. I'm sorry, this story's taking too long, but we got halfway down the 10th hole. He's like, oh, by the way, those had shrooms in them. Psychedelic mushrooms. And again, I haven't done drugs, but I'm thinking whatever. And it ain't no big deal. We go 10, 11, having a good time, hole 12. And we're going at a pretty good pace. And people that know golf, people are behind us. People aren't behind you and you're moving along. On hole 13, it was like a pinch me moment. I look around, people are yelling at us. We're in the middle of the fairway. There's four people, there's two golf carts sitting by themselves. Golf carts usually right around, and we're just kind of walking the grounds. And there was like 7-8 groups of people behind us saying, guys, we got to get going. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this shit hit us. And from there, it was a very eventful last 5 holes. I won't get into details, but I will say this one detail from an onlooker. The 18th hole, anytime you play golf, you're coming back into the clubhouse, so people are watching. And I learned this the next day after the fact that one guy was describing. He's like, dude, y'all are out there playing, you and like me and my other buddy. He said, we're watching y'all, and your buddy had his golf clubs over his shoulder that took the bag off golf clubs and was like Mel Gibson and Braveheart running down the freaking sides of the woods looking for his ball in another planet. So went on from there. We were around people socially. It was one of the worst experiences of my life. Highly recommend never doing that, and always ask questions before you take something. Like I said, I lost a friend over that in the social setting after, because again, it was not known to me what was happening, and it's very regretful. But I have learned what what these things can do to you, and I just be very careful in the future. And that's my rant for the day.
Jesus,
and Yeah. But
does Uncle Dave drug test?
The saying of unconditional love has came up to me, and I've kind of learned what it was the last few days, and like I'm trying to fix things in my personal life as it affected this mushroom experience. So
then I think you need to take a few more of them, because you're still pretty wound up.
Yeah. So anyway, sorry I got on that rant, but it was really the public service announcement to protect people out there.
Yeah, it's like back in the day, the whole dare to keep kids away from drugs at pools and whatnot. Chase out here is just doing his part. So.
He's just eating mushrooms that came off of cow shit. I mean, they grow in cow shit, man.
I don't do drugs. So anyway, let's move it along here. Adam, why don't you tell people about the show? I'm sorry. Why did we even bring that up? I'm sorry, guys.
You feel guilty. It's like you could never cheat on your girlfriend because you gotta tell them about it if you did. So. No,
for sure.
This week's show, we have we got a great show lined up for us. We're going to have a weigh-in segment here in a minute, talking about a few things. We have some really good guests coming on with us from Chaos Fabrication. We have the Kevin Campbell and Colin Ross. Kevin's been around pulling that I know for a little while, and Colin's been around for a while too. But it's going to be good to hear their story, how this all got started up, and get a little information on maybe how Colin's doing with the triple bypass now the Campbells are doing now that they own 2 mini rods. So Lindsay ran last year. I think Kevin purchased a mini at the end of this past year and got to run it a couple times. So it'll be good to talk to him, maybe figure out what he's thinking. And then after that, we'll kind of close the show out with a little bit of catch up, see what's going on the next couple of weeks. Maybe hit in on some other things. So
and Tyler, we have some new segments to announce too, right?
Yes, yes, we do.
I did forget.
All of our fan interaction has been wonderful. We love hearing from everybody that's tuning in, and everybody that's tuning in, most people like it. Most people love it. Some people, not the best words to say about it. So we've got a new segment to bring to the show. OJ, do we have a little riff?
Let's hit that up.
We'll show it again, right? We'll show it again.
Do we want to go there right now?
Let's hit it up right now. Yeah. Let's just get right to it.
Let's go for it.
It's time for Hater Inbox.
That's right. We've got the Hater Inbox. If you don't like the show, feel free to tell us all about it. We've got email address, nopracticeinbox@gmail.com. That's nopracticeinbox@gmail.com. You can tell us why we're great or tell us that we suck and we're clueless. We welcome both, because at least you're listening and you can tell us about it. So I was at work and I received an email from a gentleman.
Hang on, we're not getting to it yet, are we? No, we're just giving a preview.
No. Well, let's just get into it right now. I say we get into it right now.
The suspense. Get into it now, then weigh in after.
We'll weigh in after this because this is just too good.
Well, it's already. Can we show the video one more time backstage, because I just love it.
It's time for Hater Inbox.
I'm sorry. Go, Tyler.
No, you're good. You're good. You wanted to see mailboxes again. I get it. So I received an email from a gentleman speaking his piece, referencing something. This is somewhat what the email looked like. I've listened to all 3 NPPs, No Practice Podcast, and you guys complaining about the new proposal point system, which I agree is simply very biased and unfair. However, it is very obvious that none of you 3 guys have viewed pulloff.com thread entitled No Practice Podcast. Gentlemen, they're talking about us. Go there and read and comprehend. In all caps, boys, you must comprehend what solution, that's me, proposed for a completely new point system that adequately and fairly rewards the pullers' track performance efforts. Questions/comments, contact me. I did not contact him back, but we did do him the graces of keeping him anonymous while we review some of his comments. I don't know.
And everyone's welcome. We love the commentary, yes. But always remember the No Practice Podcast exists because we want to grow the sport of pulling. And
yes,
whenever you want to grow something, whenever you're passionate about something, you're not the 1 or 2 people aren't going to like you to the thousands, but we accept those 1 or 2 at nopracticeinbox@gmail.com. Just to reference again. We'd love to make this a repeat, and maybe the same guy email again. And we're going to keep it classy. We won't reveal his name, although he goes by the name Solution on a message board. Is that message board even? Is that pulloff.com? Yeah. Is it even still open? I didn't know that website even exists still.
So it does. And he did. This isn't the extent of his book. We got to read this here. To me, this is his best statement because of one part.
This is the guy who hides behind a name called Solution on a message board that we didn't know existed still. Okay, sounds great.
I have listened to the so-called meat of each of the 3 sessions, referencing our.
Stop! What is this so-called meat? Is he talking about the content?
So-called meat. I think the so-called meat is the whole podcast front to back. He listens to the whole thing because he loves it. So I think that's what the so-called meat is.
Back up there. All right.
Yeah. They sure know how to peddle a lot of nothing and BS. Yeah. I mean, I feel like we'd stand by that.
Yeah.
Like
we say that, Mr. Solution, we say that in intro, by the way. we kind of give you a disclosure, but carry on.
Here's my favorite part, though, and while we're featuring this snippet. Chase has no clue how the decades-old NTPA point system works even works despite how simple it is, but when asked to explain it, he sure knows how to rant and rave and condemn it because he thinks it's too complicated for his little brain.
Well, first off, Mr. Solution, thank you for supporting our show. Love the email. Love the.
He's probably watching right now. Okay.
Love the reference to the message board that we did not know still existed. I guess it was kind of just he wanted me to. I got to answer this right because he kind of directed it to me. Pull it back up because I can't remember this again. Hang on, pull it back up.
He did say his name in the email, so he admitted to that.
Yeah, we're protecting we're protecting his dignity for
because he revealed.
We'll always do that. And if you want to stay alias like he does on this message board, please email us, and we'd love to have you as a special guest in this segment in the future. So when asked to explain it, he sure knows how to rant and rave and condemn it. Well, first off, when you get on our podcast, it's pretty well opinion based to rant and rave. So you probably should. We probably need to have a disclosure for this guy to check off on and know that you're going to hear opinions when you hear it. Okay.
Hang on. Side note: was that posted at 3:15 in the morning? What's this guy up to?
Oh, wow! I didn't notice that. Maybe he was just drunk.
AM?
All right. So
I think the only meat
solution.
The only meat he's listening to is the one in his bed.
Oh wow! You're really going. So maybe he's just drunk. All right, we're going to give him a pass and say he's drunk, but we're still going to answer it because he exercised his right and he gave his opinion, despite how simple it is. So, Mr. 315 Solution Man, the whole point of the segment was to tell you it wasn't simple, and everyone agrees that. Oh, I say. The whole point that we made was that it's not simple. You need a Wikipedia page to understand it. And in the future, maybe we should involve, really trying to get our words clearly.
Just have a conversation about how to make it potentially better. That's all we're doing. When we bring up subjects here, it's not to say what's going on is the worst and we need to do something better. It's just to have a conversation about it. That's what a podcast is.
We may get it wrong.
Hang on. Hey, this guy listened to it 3 times, and we gave we gave our opinions on a podcast. I didn't know you did that on a podcast. Thanks, Mr. Solution.
I think he got the pull-off.com as a message board for people who don't know, where they kind of go on there. I haven't been on there in years. As far as I knew, it was always.
I didn't know. Actually, I did know it was still up and running. I shouldn't say that. I was dishonest, but I didn't know that it still existed to some people. And honestly, pulloff.com, please send us an email at No Practice Inbox. We would be happy to take you on as a sponsor for all the thousands of people who are going to go to your website now.
Yeah, we're sending a lot of traffic that way.
Yeah, like this is the best traffic you've had since dial-up internet, probably, right?
Since the Midnight Mistress went down, and no, that's not a porn site. There was a message board on that Midnight Mistress, but
yes,
that's been gone for years now. But
I hope he sends another one. I hope he sends another one because we'd love to have this segment every show. We're here to grow the sport of pulling. If you don't know what we're here for, we're here to have fun. There's so much fun in the sport, and we're here to let everybody know how badass this sport is. Even the guy that stay up at 3 a.m. wondering what we're talking about.
He's really going to be roused up now because we're not even getting to his proposed rule change.
We don't care about the rule change.
Get to it. Let's see it real quick.
No, we don't care about the. We covered this last show. We got other things to cover now.
This is the same guy that said the NTPA system is so simple because it's in existence for years. Well, newsflash, bro. It ain't that. If it's that simple, it sure as hell ain't getting new fans in. So apparently, you need to look up.
Chase doesn't even understand it, so it can't be that simple. You said that yourself.
Yeah. Exactly. We're trying to grow the sport, which I think that's a perfect time to bring us into the.
Maybe if I was on the golf course, I'd understand it better.
Right. Yeah, perhaps so.
I think we need to move on into the weigh-in segment because this actually is going to be the same thing. We're going to talk about little subject here that has to do with growing the sport of pulling. So. We're going to weigh in on a little subject that I've been thinking about for a while. And I think the way it's kind of been going the last couple of years, you ask any puller, everything's kind of dictated off of the schedule and what organization works out best for them. And kind of where we need to go as a sport. I signed up for both organizations last year. PPL had 9 events. 7 of those events were single day hooks. And NTPA had, I can't remember the number. There was a few more 2-day hooks, but still, I mean, everybody knows like the sport of pulling. We kind of follow around a lot of county fairs and stuff. And I think we just need to weigh in on why 2-day events are better. Maybe 3-day events could be better. Why you choose to run certain events. I mean, obviously what we have now is what we have, but I mean, a single day event to me is not too much fun. I mean, stuff, 3 tractors, we've got a gator and a car. When we unload, we got a bunch of stuff to get out and set up. And
it's not fun for you as a competitor, is what you're saying. Again, competitive hopping.
You show up for the and you unload all, you get ready. Maybe you get there the night before the pool. Maybe you're able to hang out with some of your friends. Maybe you're not. Maybe you show up of the pool, get all your stuff out, make your pass, do all your things. By the time I get all my shit loaded, half the class or most of the people are already gone at the single day events. But the 2-day events, I like to hang out with my buddies and stuff and whatnot. So I mean, that's kind of what I want to weigh in on. Like, as the sport progresses here, do we need to have? Obviously, we need to have more multiple day events. I would think a 3-day event would be perfect. Maybe 2 qualifiers and a finals. What do you guys think? What kind of, Tyler? What do you got on that?
I'm sorry. I'll hold off, Adam. You're getting ready to get roasted. But go ahead, Tyler.
Go ahead.
I couldn't agree more. I think everybody would agree that 2-day events are the best. I think that all the promoters would agree with that. I think that both organizations would agree with that. When talking with John and Christy about that, they said to us, well, if having only 2-day events means we lose every 1-day event and then we're only left with the 2 days, does that make it worth it or not? And to me, the answer is no. It's easy to say I only want 2-day events and imagine every single day event turning into a 2-day event, but I just don't think the expense is there for some of the promoters. So while I agree with you, yes, 2-day events would be ideal, I can see that they're just not practical in all situations because it would limit the amount of avenues we get to expose ourselves putting on the show that we do.
Present in the current environment.
Yeah.
I agree. You can't just say, hey guys, we're going to make this big and no promoters step up, because ultimately the leaders of NTPA, PPL, Outlaw, don't decide the events. Like people probably don't understand that they're just coming in.
Maybe walk us through that process to understand it.
Yeah, so people, the leaders of these organizations, they're in charge of providing roles, bringing a following of competitors to these events, but they don't put on the polls. Promoters put on the polls, and promoters are the ones who are ambitious enough. And we all know the great stories. It's one of the coolest things about this sport. And I've shared this with a number of people. A number of the biggest events across all organizations that aren't county fairs are like nonprofit groups that just passionately impact their communities. For anyone that's never been to Chapel Hill, Tennessee, that place is what it is. And it is a small town USA town, but it is what it is because that tractor pull. I mean, there's
standalone event.
There's 25, 30,000 people that come in there, but those guys are also a standalone event. They're not a county fair. A county fair, yes, they're big for communities and they're good, but like a county fair is not a tractor pulling event. It is a large event that just happens to have a tractor pull with it. So, yeah, it's easy for us.
A lot of those fairs have entertainment every single night, and it's different every night. Motorcycles, rodeos, tractor pull, demo derby, all that, yada, yada, yada. I know there's some events that we go to, let's say, let's just throw Wellington out there. This is not a throw at Wellington or anything, but Wellington's after Bowling Green. We'll go to Bowling Green, and there'll be 40 tractors in the class at Bowling Green. You go to Wellington, and, 12 guys show up. And I think a lot of it's because it's a single-day pull, for one. But I guess where I'm getting at is it's not a stab at anybody. I'm just saying Wednesday night they have OSTPA come in there. And I know there's a different variety of vehicles that come in there on Wednesday. Thursday, they have a horse pull. And then Friday, they have the NTPA pull. Now, I guess my question is, and this could be for a promoter of some sort, if it costs you $60,000 to put on an event for a one-day event, and if you go to a two-day event, obviously you have extra purse money in, but it's not the total. You're not doubling the event cost. I think.
Do you know what it is?
I would say it's probably about $90,000.
Again, you're referencing a county fair though. Like they're not putting on a tractor pull; they're putting on a week-long event.
Well, I get that, but you also got to look at what shows up in the stands. And at some events that we go to, obviously,
You just answered your own question, then, Mister. Are you Mister 3:15 a.m. Critiquing something? You're just not looking at the picture.
No, I'm not.
Dude, the simple answer is you need, and again, it's nobody's fault. Somebody's got to step up and do it. You need promoters that want to have standalone events. A county fair is great for pulling. It's not bad. It's not bad. Like I would say 90% of the pulls that we have in the United States are in conjunction with a county fair. Probably 95% to be honest. But like there needs to be more standalone events for pulling, and it takes people stepping up and doing it. But it takes growing this sport and wanting to do that.
I guess I go okay. So we're going to go into that then. If you're talking about growing this sport, then here's my question to you. If you were going to get into the two-wheel drive class right now, let's just say we're just going to throw that out there as that being the most affordable class to get into. It may or may not be, but I'm going to say two-wheel drive.
Oh, it's quite a ride. Let me tell you.
Yeah, but anyways, regardless of the circumstances, if you want to compete at the lowest level of two-wheel drive pulling, you have to have just about as equal of equipment as any Grand National or Regional National truck at the lowest level. So what I'm saying is, as long as there's no separation in the events, a Grand National standalone event, a Regional National at a county fair, a state level brush pull here and there, if there's never the separation, I'm talking about highest level Grand National, 2-day, 3-day events. That's where we're all striving to go. And I think as you separate those out, it will help the growth of each level of pulling. Because right now, if a guy wanted to get into the two-wheel drive class, he has to spend $160,000 to be competitive in any level.
Yeah, no, I hear you. No, I mean, and we need to get moving. We've been on a roll. I'll leave you with this point, and I think you made a good point there, Adam. But everything we've been complaining about, and when I said I was going to roast you, I end up complaining about it a little bit too, is from a competitor standpoint. We got to look at it from a fan standpoint. If you're a fan that follows and loves the sport, are you going to drive somewhere and go watch a pull for one day? Absolutely not. Bowling Green, Ohio, biggest pull in the world is Bowling Green, Ohio, for two reasons. One, it's prestige. It's the best of the best. It's great campground where Tyler does a lot of dumb shit. But it's also like it's an experience to go have fun. Do the same stuff that we do.
Chase does mushrooms out the campground.
No, but like it's an experience. So like, if you want to grow this sport, again, it goes back to getting people motivated to be promoters to put on these events. But you have to have, fans got to want to go be a part of it, not drive for one night at a county fair. I'm just keeping it real.
Exactly.
I think there's. Go ahead.
I think you just answered the whole thing. I'm the guy that's driving all night to get there to go to the pull, and I get to enjoy with the two tractors I drive 30 seconds worth of fun. I mean, each night. You might drive. Tyler,
that's your own fault. That's your own fault, Tyler or Adam. You create your own misery. You buy how many beer rods you got now? 5?
Yeah, something like that. Whatever. But I mean, I guess what I'm getting at in the growth of the sport, I'm just saying, this is my last comment on it. Is like you take a guy like Stan Shelton, and you wonder why he goes drag racing, but the guy's got to drive 12 hours somewhere to go to a pull, and each kid gets to take a 15-second ride for one night. When he goes drag racing, he gets to make a minimum of three runs in the car qualifying. If he qualifies, 4 runs. If he goes rounds, he gets to make 7 runs a weekend. I mean, a little bit more fun. It's probably like the roundy round stuff. Guys run roundy round because you get to do it for longer. That's all I'm saying.
This is all again. For those that are tuning the first time, your neighbors or someone called you and said, "Listen to these guys in this podcast." we don't all get along or agree on anything. We're friends, and it's nothing's personal except with me and Tyler about rules. But
That's right.
If you have comments, please reach out, email, jump in the chat. Our flow is going good. We have record numbers again on the number of live watchers, and it's probably more because of our guests. So I think we've run a little over. We're going to try to keep this under 2 hours.
Let's bring in the boys, shall we?
Let's bring in the guys.
Yeah, with back office guy, let's get them in here. Without further ado, we have Colin Ross and Kevin Campbell from Chaos Fabrication. If you don't know them, you're about to know them. So hopefully they logged in time. We had to have technical difficulties, but I was told they're in the backstage.
They are in the hills of Pennsylvania. Who knows what's going on?
Yeah, they are. They're together. Oh,
look at Kevin's shirt. Kevin, great outfit, I must say.
Awesome.
That's that one shirt you sold.
That's
awesome.
I love it.
Pulling fans, Kevin Campbell, Colin Ross, Chaos Fabrication. For those of you that don't know Chaos Fabrication, you new fans and people who are learning the sport, tractor pulling is unique because it is a sport where, with a lot of diversity, a lot of different angles. The classes that Adam, Tyler, and myself run kind of go in line with the drag racing world in terms of our high performance engines. We kind of intertwine and do the same stuff. But in tractor pulling, it's very unique. It's very custom. It's honestly just custom pulling. In a lot of these pro stock, super stock classes, I'm not an expert on it, so please tell me if I'm wrong at any point, Kevin and Colin. But Chaos Fabrication is premier leader in producing new products for competitors. Episode 2, episode 3 happen to be Adam Bauer is a customer of Chaos Fabrication. The Shelton team is a customer of Chaos Fabrication, along with a lot of probably hundreds of others. So it's, without further ado, proper introduction. Kevin Campbell on the left, Colin Ross on the right. They're also, Kevin and his wife have jumped into the mini rock class. New to be mini rock competitors. We'll get to that later. I hope the water is deep, Kevin. I hope you realize that at this point. And then Colin Ross, my favorite vehicle in all of pulling, triple bypass diesel super stock, the baddest vehicle of all time. And we all get asked these questions: what vehicle would you have at any time to drive or whatnot? Colin, I think I told you this, but triple bypass has my vote. Gentlemen, thanks for coming on. It's quite the pleasure to have you. Are you in the Chaos Fabrication shop as we speak?
Yeah, we are right now.
So is that Adam Bauer's tractor behind you that still isn't done?
No, that is actually the 1206 motor for Shelton's.
Oh,
Awesome.
Yeah.
So these guys are on the show and they're saying their stuff's not done. Are you?
Yeah.
And first off, hang on, we're getting ready to have a lot of fun. If there's something you don't want to answer, you can do a pass like Adam Kessler does. But we're gonna ask you anything, and we'll try to keep it clean. But Adam always uses the pass button, so feel free. But those guys say y'all are not. They say, they don't have our tractor done, but we also know those guys. Is there something you can speculate on to why their tractor's not done yet? Either the Shelton Pro Stock or the Bauer Super Stock? I'd love to hear your version of it.
Sure. So they're actually working. We got the fabrication work done and everything. 1066, and it went back to their place about a week or so ago. So,
is this Shelton's? The Shelton's.
Yeah, on Shelton. So the 1206 is here, and obviously part of it's right behind us. And the 1066 is back in North Carolina right now. So they're going through powder coat, wiring, rear end, and all that stuff. And we're putting all the motor and all that kind of stuff together. So we're projecting for it for Louisville is our goal.
If they get in, you think they're going to get in?
Well, we hope so.
Can you speculate on that? You must. So you have insider info. More on the Louisville event later and making your selection picks. Colin, can you comment on why Adam Bauer's tractor is not done? Are you liberty to say that at this time?
Well, Vaughn told me we'd have the chassis in April, and that was in 2023 of April. So we'll wait on that. But he's been busy, obviously. I think the biggest holdup was he got that red sled done. I think that took a lot away from the for build. So which I business comes first. So Yeah, so it was all good. We were still figuring out combination stuff with our tractor. My dad, our family tractor, is a lot of that's going to go into that tractor as well. They're going to be have 2 different color hoods. So just kind of in a halt mode with that. But I assume that the chassis will be here very soon, and we'll get to work on that through these winter months, and hopefully at Hutch and Toma for the first part of June.
So you guys won't be stealing. You guys won't be stealing any ideas from that chassis, will you?
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, I never know. I guess.
What I'm hearing is it's not your guys' fault why it isn't done. Is that correct?
No, and it's all around. It's all good. I know Vaughn and Adam's very excited. We're excited to work with them. I know myself have looked up to Vaughn and Adam, throughout my whole pulling career. My young self, Adam's won a lot of stuff. Look at all the championships and the amount of pulls he's won.
We already covered that. We know he pulls his own
he
sled.
practices though. He practices. We already covered that a couple episodes ago.
Yeah, we already covered all that.
Yeah, they're good guys, family, and we're just honored to work with them.
Hey,
and just for the record, Adam Bauer is a pulling SOB. So Colin, I think he's going to make your all's class entertaining. I know he's going to have first class equipment, but he's not a dummy. He's very good at what he does. So just a warning.
He said the reason why he's getting in a diesel superstock because he don't want to work on anything. I think he's getting in the wrong damn class, if you ask me. But I mean, you guys gonna have like 5 of them things lined up for him, or what?
Yeah. How many motors is Adam Bauer getting in his trailer? And we didn't talk about this on his podcast, fans, but Adam Bauer does not care to beat on his equipment. So I think you guys are going to stay busy with him. But again, he's the best driver in pulling that I know. So he's a good one to have in your corner. Real quick, my last question. I'll let these guys start taking over. You guys are obviously, Colin, you're one of the biggest names in pulling, if not, the biggest with triple bypass. And Kevin, you had a history in super stock pulling, and you've gotten back in the mini rod. Like, how do you guys know each other? Like, how did this? Like, what's the relationship here?
I'll go ahead and take it.
I guess we kind of grew up in the same county. Really, I don't really know how do we meet each other, really.
Don't say the internet. Don't say you met on the internet, please.
I guess my dad's always been pulling. And Kevin started pulling as well.
We took you to some pulls.
Brookville. That's right, Brookville. Yeah. So my dad was friends with a guy by the name of Alan Krause, who used to help my dad a lot back in the 90s on his superstock tractor. When my dad got out, I was 8, 9, 10-year-old kid. So Alan took me to the tractor pool with Campbell. We went to Brookville, Pennsylvania. I'll never forget it. I can remember like it was yesterday. They had this like a Econo mod class where it's like a farm all in with like a V8, big block Chevy in it. It's total rinky-dink deal. But the flywheel, something happened to the flywheel, came off, cut the tractor, and the flywheel went about 10 feet from me and like took a guy's leg off. I don't know if it cut his leg off.
Oh shit!
Bad. And
Are you serious? Holy shit!
It was bad. Like that there. Why I will never drive a Mini because I like my legs.
Oh shit!
That's something always stuck.
Dude, you guys are 100% more on the boost than a mini rod. Okay, we got 40 pounds of boost. You guys are getting close to 400.
Yeah,
or a little more.
Yeah.
Well, I know. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
That sounds like that could blow your manhood away. That sounds like that could blow your manhood away at any time.
Yeah, you guys better be careful. Chase might try to get you out.
Sit on a damn bomb.
But
sit on a bomb.
Forward.
Yeah, it's not like in between your legs.
Oh, okay.
But really, so we went to that pool, and just growing up, Kevin pulled with his tractor in the late 2000s, early teens. Just always knew each other, and I guess that's where it kind of really started. So
And so the relationship now, that's how you met. Like, how did it evolve for you to come work with Kevin? I mean, I don't know this. I don't know if any of us know this. So like, how obviously you ended up there. How did that facilitate, if you don't mind sharing?
This is around the pool, around the shootout.
Yeah, we put I had a career change in my life. It happened. It transpired in the year late 2019. And I was at a standstill. I didn't really know what direction I wanted to go. And we decided in the COVID year 2020 we put a pool on here at the shop. It was a superstock shootout. We had alcohol and diesel super class, pro stock class, and a diesel super 4-wheel drive class. And it was a really good deal. We live streamed it. I mean, it was a really cool deal. Dan Mayer, Miles Krieger announced it. It was a really neat deal, you know, especially when there wasn't any pulling going on at all. So we did that together and really just kind of came into this deal. We started working together, and that's kind of where it started, I guess. So
That wasn't y'all weren't out there practicing. That was real competition, right? We'll get into the practice part in a later question because you guys kind of put our no practice brand to question at times. Just kidding.
We practice.
They have
So
they got a practice track next to their shop. Okay, they practice.
He practices.
And the floods out in the building.
Okay.
So
All right, well, we'll get to our mini comments later. I know Tyler's got some stuff, but little hit. So long story short, you met pulling like we all met, but then the relationship formed from a COVID pulling event led to where you are now. That is really cool to know. I didn't know that. And obviously you guys, I don't know a damn thing about pro stock, super stock or anything, but I am a fan. And for someone like me that didn't know that, now I know where it started. So COVID did a lot of bad things, but it started a great teamwork, if nothing else, at Chaos Fabrication. So Tyler, I know we got a long list of questions for you guys. And again, you have the pass button. Tyler, hit these guys with what you got.
Yes. So I want to know, like, I interview people at work, and obviously the two of you work together. I want to know, was there like an awkward interview process? And at any point during that, Kevin, did Colin hit you off, or you were like, I don't know if I want this guy to work for me? And Colin, was there a fun point where you were like, I don't know if I want to work for Kevin? It can be an odd thing, like a weird quirk or something, but like interviews are so awkward because you know that the one person you're trying to impress and the other person you're like, I don't know if I want this person or not. So like usually there's always some little backstory, you know, now that you two are established, where there was that little awkward phase during that first day, first 10 minutes on the job.
And feel free to hit the Adam button where you pass it, the Adam button. We're going to brand that next show.
Oh, yeah. No, I'd say from my perspective, it was, we already knew each other. There was honestly no real interview process because, you know, we're friends and we already worked together, like I said, with the pool and everything. And it was more of a, here's an opportunity if you want it. And we went from there. So really can't say it was anything too awkward, I guess.
Yeah, it really started late.
I wanted Colin to say that like Kevin shows up to work in his underwear sometimes on the weekends or something like that.
He doesn't put the toilet seat down.
Yeah. There's got to be something fun going on there. Come on.
No, it really wasn't anything. I mean, it was just yeah, it wasn't really. I mean, it happened. We were late night bullshitting in this shop, and it just
was there alcohol involved, Colin?
No, probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
Alcohol gets you. Okay, good.
Yeah,
good.
They only drink
no
when
good
they're putting
decision comes
everybody's
with alcohol.
They only drink when they put everybody else's shit together.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
All right, guys. This question is more or less for Colin. So obviously, you know, we got triple bypass is probably the baddest super stock diesel out there, and
Of all time, bro.
It's very, very strong tractor. So I've seen that thing make some really monster passes, and you go 400 feet, you might put 100 foot on second place, 75 foot, you know, make some killer passes with it. But it seems to not, at times, maybe back it up. And being an engine guy, I want to know, but that second pass or third pass on the engine, I know you guys are running them on the edge and everything, but what is really failing on them things? Are, you know, turbos taking a shit? I mean, is it scuffing pistons? Is it wiping out bearing? I mean, why? What makes a diesel super not as reliable at times? You know, is there a parts failure, or, you know, what is the reason behind? I know you guys are running them hard, but, you know, why a diesel has such a hard time making a couple passes.
And Colin, feel free to ask Adam why he finished 20th in the points this year when you're done answering the question.
Okay, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, he's talking shit, Colin. Don't take that.
No, engine standpoint, I want to know what can be fixed on it. I mean, obviously, you guys are trying really hard to figure this out, but I mean, something's got to be failing. We're just curious what it could be.
Well, if I knew you'd ask that, I'd put like a PowerPoint presentation together on what all. Man, so I guess we'll just start with our tractor this year. We developed our own cylinder head here that we started using. We started with the Pro Stock, and we had a head for us too. We had some valve issues that we fought a little bit, dropped the valve once at Toma, and just a couple little issues there. Some things, some overlooked items, I believe. Really, as far as the engine stuff, that's kind of why we went to a block and decided to do our own block from the stuff that my father and I learned, the hyper block, be able to support that entire sleeve to where it doesn't have it can't go anywhere. That's huge. So we have a really good foundation there. The piston sleeve ring combination, really don't have any issues there anymore. The bearings situation, we're kind of pretty much took care of all that. Really comes down to the two pieces that are extremely critical that take the most abuse, which
turbos,
is the pump and turbos. Absolutely. I mean, you have this, right here, that injector pump, that is a motor on the side of a motor. So that all has to work in sync. And we're very fortunate because we only live about an hour and a half from Jim and Steve Kalinowski at Weimer. They're top notch. They have, I can't ask for any better. Them guys are just everything. But my father and I and Kevin as well, we when we show up, we go there for the blue ribbon. That's why we're there. And,
absolutely. That's what I said. You guys are
that's why it's the baddest. That's why it's the baddest tractor in the world, Colin.
Well, I appreciate that, but that's
for my opinion.
I appreciate that, but that's why I think a lot of times our tractor might not be as consistent as Kent Payne, and Kent Payne does a great job, and he's a great puller, and his tractor runs great. He's very hard to beat because he's so consistent. We we don't want to win. We want to win by 50 feet. That's just who we are.
Well, sure, yeah. I mean, when you show up, you guys want to smoke them. I mean, you guys are the only ones that run METOSes that I know of in the diesel superstock class, but you guys have also developed this new engine block, and I know there was a lot of conversation about this thing. What exactly makes it different than a standard IH block, if you don't mind me asking?
And please explain this to me, because obviously we collaborated for the show, and I had no idea there was another block in y'all's classes, and I have no idea what the differences are.
Yeah, we're dummies. We're alcohol pullers.
For the dumbass that I am, please tell me what the difference is in like at a high level. We're not asking you to give information out. And again, you can hit the Atom button. You can hit the Atom button for a pass.
What it is really the blocks are. Which we'll show you in a little bit. We'll do a little quick walk around the shop. But the basically on a tractor stuff versus, say, I'll use the Mini for example. You could run maybe your 4.9 bore spacing, 4.8 bore spacing, different deck heights, all these other different things. It's a lot more wide open, where the tractor stuff is more backed by stock dimensions and things like that, more antique kind of rules.
Yeah.
So where we're limited to stock bore spacing, things like that. So what we changed wasn't on ours, which some of them are stock bolt pattern, and some of ours are not stock bolt pattern, or your head bolts on. But we did that.
So from my standpoint, to answer this, what I'm hearing, it'd be like us running a cast Keith Black block in 2023 in our class, like a cast Keith block. I don't know if you know what that is. You're new to the mini rod world, but it's something that we were running in the 90s. People, if we ran them right now, they'd last for about 2 runs. Basically, you guys are making the class and the sport better, and you innovated it. Again, going
it's
back,
a recast block.
I look at your all's world as like a custom world, because it's all custom made. There's not a manufacturer like we had the access to, like an Adam or a Brad Anderson or whoever. So you guys are improving quality, and people don't like it, or you don't answer that. The rumblings I've heard, it's basically, okay, you basically want to make this thing work a little better, and not keep it in 1999, and we don't like it. Okay.
Well,
don't answer the question. I got it.
I mean, the reason why they're doing it is because the class is, I mean, the numbers are inconsistent because they're putting a lot of pressure on these things, and you guys are improving that. So I totally understand why you guys are doing it. I just don't understand why I guess a lot of the people threw so much flack at it for changing it. It's been an age-old deal, but I mean, shit, the Hypermax block was different than every other factory block.
Adam, I can answer that for these guys because they kick everybody's ass. All right. Next question. I'm going to move on to it. Chaos Fabrication, obviously, big brand with Colin, and obviously you had an alcohol superstock previously, Kevin. What,
Yes.
And you have a lot of Premier Pro stocks, and we mentioned Adam Bauer's upcoming superstock and the Sheltons. What, like, if someone that just walks up the street, what all can you get done at Chaos Fabrication? If whenever I get tired of you beat my ass Mirror pulling and I want to go beat the Sheltons in Pro stock pulling or another class, like what all do you offer there? Either one of you can answer it.
We try to do it end to end. So we do everything from a single piece for somebody, whatever that may be, to complete engine builds and also complete turn tractors. So it's a mixed bag of everything. So, I mean, we're doing several different ones right now. Like we're going through rebuild stuff with Shelton's and redo a new tractor. Parrish is going through theirs, getting it ready for Louisville. Obviously, Collins and Ross's their stuff, and then Jason Swanevec has a new tractor coming, new bootlegger tractor. So it's from the very first nut bolt all the way to, it's hit the key, ready to run.
Like a super farm or like a limited pro, do you mess with any of that stuff or?
A little bit. I mean, we do some stuff with the diesel super stock truck stuff and a little bit with, light pro, limited pro, and other builders will do stuff for other guys that focus on that stuff more. And then sort of try to stick to right now, mostly to a few different avenues because it's so hard to cover it all.
Right. And how many people do you have work there outside of you two? Or I don't know if you work, Kevin. I know Colin's working. He's got his work shirt on still, but who else works there numbers wise?
There's 10 of us.
10?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So not that. So it's a operation where it's pretty like there's not a tractor that doesn't go through that shop where probably all 10 guys touch it. It's not like it's a assembly line deal, all hands on deck, which leads to a quality product, which leads to why your guys' stuff runs so good. So I didn't know that. That was a question I had. Tyler, you're next.
Yeah, Colin. So in the diesel world and the alcohol world of the unlimited super, obviously there's been some separation between those two classes. Every once in a while we get the battle of the fuels, especially with you stepping up running in the unlimited super class. Do you get picked on by other diesel guys saying, hey man, you can't run up there and show them how much ass we can kick when we run hard? Because you did prove that, and that was impressive. Like, do they kind of hate on you for that, saying back it off a little bit?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're hesitating. That's a yes.
They don't like it. They don't want the class. We have never promoted to join the classes. I don't really care either way. I just wanted to prove, me and my father, we just wanted to prove it could be done. That's all. Because, the biggest thing I had against it was, when I grew up, in the early 2000s, all I did was watch my dad's VHS tapes of pulling Louisville, everything. Well, my two top guys was obviously my dad and Rob Russell and Ez Lane. Well, all the tapes I ever saw got their butt kicked by Terry Blackburn and alcohol traffic. So
medicine.
I hated Terry Blackburn. I hated the Connor brothers when I was a kid because I'm like, they're beating my guys, Now I respect both of them for what they've done in this sport, because especially looking back to the technology that they had. But it was really just something that we wanted to do because we really fuel off. You tell us we can't do something, we're going to try to prove you wrong. So just who we are, and we really wanted to do it, and we felt like we have done that. And, I don't think
you feel like that was
fine, but it's whatever.
You feel like that was more challenging, though? You think it would have been easier to smoke them with an alcohol tractor? A little bit.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
No?
Honestly,
And this is my question because I think you're the only diesel guy running it. The METOS has probably had to help more than anything, right?
yeah, he did. And there was we went to in 2021 when we ran the PPL schedule against those guys. I can't say that the METOSs were everything. I think they're definitely better than because we ran a Puller 2000, but an old 10 ply. So the tire was made in
Right.
one, which are very hard to find. And we were like find a new set in 2012 and we were able to come. But we put a set on the Puller 2000s at Freeport and Goshen and Evansville, and we got a 4th and 2 seconds in those 3 hooks. So we certainly did well with it, but I think the METOS is better. I think we found how to make the METOS better. I like the METOS. Why you wouldn't run a METOS person? You can go out and buy it, and that's my choice. I know that's Kevin's as well.
Yeah, that's right. So us being mini rod guys, we love to talk about tires. Kevin, we'll get to you later. But for those that don't know pulling that well, they know tires are very significant. Or we're going to explain to them tires are significant. They hear us talk about tires all the time. But the METOS tire, for instance, in the unlimited class, my family, my dad has unlimited. METOS really came on the scene. What was it? 2019. Joe Ader won his championship. And he had METOS tires on. Was the only guy. They were hard to get accessible at that point. But Joe's won the additional championships since then. Joe's a great puller. But now, fast forward to 2019, he's the only guy who has it. Now, if you run an unlimited in 2023, you only have METOSs on it. Like it's not even comparable. The quality.
They can put the power down with the METOS tire, and that's why my question was. Diesels make a lot of torque. I just wondered if that helped put the power down a little bit better.
Yeah, but like in the unlimited class, that's what this is interesting to me. Like you can't run unlimited without METOS tires. So and you run the same tire they run unlimited. Why? Well, I know why you run it in the diesel super. You like it preferred, but it's really interesting that same tire in that class, you're the only guy that runs it. It's kind of like mini rod guys running certain types of tires and not run those types of tires. So it's interesting that you guys are the only ones that do it. Obviously, your stuff runs really good, but Adam Bauer is going to run METOSs. I'm just telling you in case you didn't know.
All I'm saying with the METOS deal is if you're going to run them, you got to turn them, and you got to turn them hard to make it work. That's what we found.
Sure. They like wheel speed.
That's good.
They like wheel
speed.
Good
shit. That's why this is the best podcast of pulling, because you learn shit that you didn't know. Colin, thanks for that commentary.
That's a hot.
My next question I have, and again, I'm a diesel superstock freak. Colin, you and your dad believe in your program, believe what you're doing. We like to talk hypotheticals and scenarios that would never happen on this show. That class is arguably one of the most popular in pulling. If you did not have your tractor to pull, and I know how competitive you guys are, if you didn't have your tractor to pull and you had to show up to an event and run anybody else's tractor to win a pull, who would it be in diesel superstock class? If you had to hop on one of them.
Oh, just in my class?
You can't. You and your dad can't pull your tractor, but you got to win it. You got to win the class, and you can pick any tractor you want in the diesel superstock class.
Probably be Adam Bowers next summer.
I said existing one, not one that's waiting on a chassis right now. And if you don't want to answer, but
yeah, I mean, since can I count alcohol too? Because it'd probably be the HD tractor.
No, I want to let's keep it diesel on this show. This is the best part. We're in the top % in the world. If you didn't know, Colin.
I'd take Esden Redline Fever just from a simple fact that I didn't care if I won or not, just to be able to drive a tractor with so much history. That would be really cool.
Yeah. It's a good answer.
Gotcha.
Good answer.
Yep. All right, guys. Now we usually gets into. I always like to ask these off-kilter questions, and I usually try to ask the same question to everybody we've had on. Have you guys ever had an interesting travel story where maybe you showed up somewhere and something was not tied down, or you're going down the road and you lost something? You have any travel stories that really stick out to you over the years I know you guys probably wipe your butts.
Did you ever take out a tow booth
Chase,
like Adam Bauer?
Chase, if you just hold on a minute, I know you like to just talk over, but I mean, we know you guys wipe your butts before you poop, but do you guys have ever had any issues showing up to a pool and maybe a tractor was loose or had some damage or something through the years of traveling up and down the road? A story that sticks out to you?
The only one I can really think of trouble-wise we ever had is we were coming home from, I think, Toma one year. We got right to the Mariana exit, which is literally 10 miles from our house. Dad blew a steer tire out on the toter. And that messed up some. I mean, it just destroyed the hood, and it was a bad deal. But honestly, travel-wise, we've been very lucky. We've never had really too much issues. So that's the only thing I remember.
That's a pretty scary scenario. Chase has had a steer tire blowout on him. We know it's not fun.
No, that was. I know my dad. That really shook him up just to how quick it happened, and he's a good driver, and obviously he was able to handle it. But that's the only thing I noted interesting that's ever
Gotcha.
happened.
You got anything, Kevin? You've been up and down the road a lot.
Yeah, I can't say I've had anything really much to go wrong, but I usually weave a web of straps and stuff on everything so it can't go anywhere. But one of our customers, though, had a really good one. I think it was a year ago. He was hauling to a local event with 2 pulling trucks in his trailer, and he didn't strap either one of them down and drove to the event.
There you go.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they just left him loose in there. He's listening. So
Don't reveal his name, please.
Yeah.
Tell it properly.
But they got there and they were okay. They were breeding each other a little bit, but nothing too bad. And,
ain't bad.
And this year they left the back doors open on the trailer and going down the highway, and so yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
Yep. DOT approved.
Greatest motorsport in the world where interesting stories happen going in the road.
No, I could see if they were out a whole night of boozing or something and forgot to tie the shit down going home. But shit, when you're leaving the house, coming to the pool and not tie it down, it's a little questionable.
It's a bit rough.
So this is our third guest we've had on. Adam Bauer came in blazing. He told one of 20 stories he had about this. Maybe everyone else we have is just like normal people and responsible, and this don't happen that often because it happens to all us and Adam Bauer all the time.
You guys are too responsible.
No shit.
Maybe it's not as common as we think.
Yeah. Kevin, with Lindsay running a mini, and now you've got your own mini. Mm-hmm. What's your call out? What's your bold prediction going into next year? Your virgin year for the mini running a whole season. You going to outrun her, or is she going to outrun you? And do you think she's going to kick you out of your seat at all?
Well, let's see. As far as predictions for next year, she's listening, so I won't say that I'll be kicking her out.
You can say that.
Well, yeah.
He'll say that. We'll be sleeping on the couch tonight.
Yeah.
That's a great employee right there, Kevin.
Yeah.
That's right.
No, I don't know. We're looking to try to run as much as we can, but obviously for us, being that work is pulling, we have to do the work first. So if we have tractors down or stuff down, that's what's going to take the precedent. But if we're able to run a fair bit of Grand National, we're going to try to. And we run some stuff with Richard Love and USA East, full productions. So we did this year. And, this was the first year, obviously, for Lindsay, and this was the first year she ever pulled anything. So that was a very different thing for both her and me. She wasn't used to it. I obviously wasn't used to a mini. And I sure wasn't used to setting up a vehicle for somebody that we didn't know what we were doing. That's the best way to put it. And probably not the best thing to have if you don't know what you're doing with it.
No, it absolutely is. I would encourage anyone to do that.
So, and that's why, her rolling at Farley, that was totally my fault. But I just didn't have enough experience with it.
Well, that's what makes the class great.
Pretty good track, too.
Well, that's why it's...
Colin, what would it take to make a diesel motor competitive in the mini rod class? Do you think it's possible with the current rule set if money was no object?
Just simply because of the weight. I mean, everything in a diesel to run that good is
Heavy.
just heavy. You know, it's an alcohol, like when we ran with the opens, you know, it's just so easy for them to make horsepower. It doesn't, you know, they don't have to, you know, reinforce stuff with more steel because we have to have a lot of boost, like 150 pound of boost to run really good. I just don't think it ever worked with the weight. The weight's the biggest thing.
That brings me into my next question. Do you think that there ever needs to be a rule on how much boost is allowed in a diesel engine, let's say in any class?
No.
We're talking about safety-wise, you wouldn't say anything needs to be capped off anywhere?
As soon as you start doing stuff like that, you're just killing the R&D behind it, you know, that happens over the winter and over, you know, I mean, same thing with you, Adam. I mean, you're an engine builder and you're trying to find the most horsepower for your customers.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they have us mandated, right? We're only allowed 45% over on our on our superchargers. I mean, obviously they're coming after our classes about as hard as anybody for whatever reason I don't know.
They should make it. They should make it unlimited overdrive, Adam.
I don't care what they do. I'm just saying, like, there obviously is no, like, I know a lot of guys are probably talking about that, or, you know, the like, you know, cubic inches and blah, 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 blah. I just didn't know if you ever thought that at some point in time they'll ever try to cap it at something.
I would say, like, you know, how you guys are limited on your overdrive, we're limited on our cubic inch, which is really kind of the limiting factor on how much further you can go. Because, you know, it's hard to beat. It's just hard to beat cubic inch, especially
Right.
diesel. So, you know, we're limited to 540 now, but you know, I don't think you would ever need any more limits in our class personally. I think, you know, it's super stock diesel for a reason. If you want limits,
Right.
classes for that,
Go over there.
go over there and do that.
I fucking
Trust
love
me.
that. I love it. I love it.
I mean, I'm all in on that. I mean, I think that's where the separation of powers are. I mean, I think the mini rods should be unlimited. I think the unlimiteds are unlimiteds. I think every class needs to have a separation for the top tier, best level of stuff. And I just, you know, I was just curious if you guys ever thought that there was a point in time where, I mean, shit, 10 years ago, guys were flirting around with 300 and we thought that was big numbers. And now we're over 400 and obviously the parts are better, but that's a lot of boost.
Well, but if you look at a pro stock and a super stock and you look at the numbers and what they'll produce, they're not that far apart. The biggest difference is you're talking hundreds of pounds of boost. But, and, you know, cubic inch wise is a big spread also. But the power is very close and getting closer.
If you had a wider tire, on a pro stock, could you go beat a diesel super?
You can only run a 24.
Well, yeah,
but I'm just saying, and like, are the rules? Could you put a wider tire on that and be legal for a diesel superclass? What if you did? You would beat they couldn't touch you, right?
Well, you're over cubed.
Well, you're over cubed for one, and the other thing I think too. Well, the biggest thing is you could never get the tractor to weigh. I mean, it'd have to be even up 8 pounds.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, the weight.
Yeah.
The weight.
I mean, but I think now could you make a tractor weigh 8,000 pounds with a good pro stock motor and
do well?
I think you could do very well.
Mm-hmm.
So well, who's going to try that experiment?
Well, it's already happened, Chase. If you paid attention to polling the last 10 years, Chris Kane did it. Years ago, Schrammers
I don't pay attention to guys that don't finish in the top 5, Adam.
Chase, I got more championships than you. I got more championships than
I know.
It's okay, buddy.
Oh, yeah. I'm really sorry.
It's all right.
I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry you had to pull the championship card on me on this show tonight. But it's been a great show to this point. Colin, Ross, Kevin Campbell, just tuning in. Chaos Fabrication. I've learned more this show than I've learned in any show other than Adam's excuses. A lot of last questions, and we have some fun segments to go to. Mm-hmm. You guys obviously love the sport. You're involved in the sport from literally a career standpoint. I'll ask you both this. If you could change one thing to help grow the sport, because I think this is like a common sense question, but we all want this sport to be bigger, and especially from a manufacturer standpoint, the bigger it gets, the more it benefits everyone. A guy like Colin Ross and the Ross family should have a major sponsor behind them, in my eyes, if these major motorsports have sponsors. Like, what is one thing each of you would change to immediately try to help grow the sport? And Colin, you can lead with it. Or throw out a couple if you feel like it, but like this is something we like to ask our guests.
I don't know if this is necessarily. Well, I guess it would be growing the sport from a competitor standpoint, but we need to figure out how to pay for it. I mean, we drive all across the damn country for $1,200 a win. I mean, everybody in this video right now, like that's what we're doing. And the amount of money
we don't
have,
get 1,200. Just saying.
But I mean, I just think that's just wrong to me. I mean, there's no reason for that. Guys back in the late '80s, early '90s was making more money to win Bowling Green than you are now. It's just we got to figure out how to do something there. And I'm not the guy to ask about that. I don't have all the answers. I just know with drag racing and NASCAR, and especially drag racing, like what Shelton's do with the Pro Mod stuff and all the stuff they can run down south, and the amount of money they can win if you go to some of those places. And we got to do something to put more money in pullers' pocket to make sense. I mean, we're spending a lot, and we're not really making any of it make sense.
That is the ultimate battle cry for everyone, and I agree 100%. But all that money definitely comes from sponsorship at those NHRA and NASCAR levels. Like that comes from sponsorship. Is there anything that comes to mind? And sponsorships come in when people start watching. And just to be blunt about it, our audience is not big enough, or we're not approaching it the right way to get premier sponsorships. Is there anything we can do to make this more appetizing for bigger audiences, to help bring those sponsors in? Is there anything that comes to mind to you, Colin? And if you don't, I mean, you answered with great content. If you don't have an idea, but we all want the same thing. Is there anything we could do different at all?
I think Grayson and Reese, I believe they said a very good something last week or 2 weeks ago. If you look at them in a pool, they look very professional. They have their, it's very drag racing-ish, if you will. They all match all the uniforms. It just looks very professional, and I think that looks great on the eye. I was watching Pomona finals this weekend, and just how professional everybody is, and I don't think we'll ever get to that level if not everybody's on the same page yet. And I don't really know if that means a whole lot, but to me, viewing, sitting on my couch this weekend looking at that's really cool how professional the NHRA is on that sort of thing. Again, I don't have an answer to that, but I think that's good. That's good.
So are you trying to say that a guy with pit vipers, a mullet, wearing a trucker hat, smoking a cigarette, spraying ether in a diesel ain't cool? I mean, come on, shit.
I know.
Yeah. No.
That's professional, man. That's as professional as it gets.
Colin, you answered the question superbly. Kevin, what's your commentary on the one thing you would change, or if you could change, to help grow it? Because it's a no-brainer to us, but we got to do something. What's your thoughts?
Well, I think it's a couple things. I guess from the pulling side of it, the pullers side, this is kind of along the lines of the talk of points, that kind of stuff. I don't like the idea of like grouping everybody up and doing all these things and sort of a Democrat way of doing that. I'd rather it be.
Hey, we don't talk about politics on this show, but we will not kick you off right now. We won't kick you off. Carry on.
Chase is a Biden supporter. That's why he's interrupting you.
But
we don't talk about politics. I love it though.
It should be for the pulling side. If you're, let's just say 100 down. I've heard that. First is 100 down to nothing, and I don't care if there's 50, 100, whatever. If you go out and you do good, and that's what we're all about. We want to go and win, and I want to get rewarded whenever I win. And if I suck ass, I just sucked ass, and that's last, and I don't care.
Yeah.
And I think it plays out better day to day to day, and average is better if you're not trying to handicap some or help others to try to keep numbers up. I think the people that are going to be there are going to be there regardless because they want to. But from a fan standpoint of drawing people in, I've done a lot of went to pools in Europe, and they do it a lot different. It's a bigger spectacle. It's a bigger show. They have, big beer tents. They have parties. They have at everybody's pit area. They may have their own setup and catered and all kinds of. They have it's a different environment at a lot of those.
It's entertainment.
Events. It's entertainment, and that's what draws a lot of people in. And it can be people for a live band after the pull or whatever. But you got to be able to draw in more people than just, hey, we're going to see these vehicles go down the track. They got to go there for some other reason too. That's
I think Bowling Green's a prime example of that for sure. Colin, from a professional.
Hang on, Kevin. That was one of the best answers I've ever heard. We don't talk politics, but you're allowed to talk it on this show, and you're going to fit very well in the mini rod class by communicating stuff like that out. So. Well said. Thank you for answering the question. Adam, please quit. Hey, and fans, we're going to ask these guys some questions from you. Our numbers are good. Everyone, it's funny. We had questions coming in nonstop, Colin and Kevin, before you guys got on. But once you guys come on, everyone's glued to their computers and TVs and phones, and nobody asks any questions. But we're going to get a couple questions. Ask these guys anything. I think we have another segment we need to roll to, Tyler, that we're going to introduce.
Before that segment,
get your questions in.
I was just curious, Colin, from a professionalism standpoint, should Jeff Hurt and I put away the Crocs? Is that an issue?
I mean, if you're comfortable in them.
Have you ever tried a pair?
I do. My dad has a pair, and he
but you don't have a pair?
I do not have
I've never seen that boy in anything but jeans and work boots. Okay.
Shit. Hey, we got to get you a pair of Crocs, Colin. I'm telling you. Like, I'll get you a pair. I'll bring you a pair.
All right,
they're good stuff.
They're big. They're probably big. You're probably size 14 or something. He's a pretty big boy.
What size are we looking at there, Colin?
14 would probably work fine. We might
Hell
have
yeah. See, look at
big
that.
feet. You know what that means? Big Crocs, boys. Big Crocs. All righty.
That's mini rod weight that you lose, right?
That's right. We're going to get into our next segment. If Chase quits interrupting, we're going to get into our next segment
so much excitement.
Called Two Truths and One Lie. I believe we have a little.
This is the No Practice Podcast. 2 truths and 1 lie.
All right, so that looks cheesy, but what that means is we're going to get 3 statements from our 2 boys here. 2 of them are going to be true, and 1 is going to be a lie, and we're going to do our best to identify which one of that is a lie. Who wants to go first, Kevin or Colin?
All right. So I ran a dragster for a summer versus going pulling. That's one. I met my wife drunk at a bar. and the last one is I pulled a friend's modified.
It's very interesting.
Adam, you go first. I already know the answer to this. And I didn't have insider info.
Well, sorry, Chase. I'm going to say the second one's a lie. Met your wife drunk at a bar.
What great woman has not been met at a bar, Adam? Are you really critiquing Lindsay that way?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go with the third one. I don't think Kevin's ever driven a modified.
I'm gonna double down, Kevin. You've never driven a modified, unless you did on your practice track out back.
Exactly, guys.
We don't know that.
Well, I don't have any friends that have a modified, so that's right.
Damn.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah. Tell us about
congratulations.
What you drag raced for a season.
What's that?
Tell us about what you drag raced for a season.
I ran a rail dragster for a summer. I thought I'd change it up and see if I liked that kind of stuff. And I found it to be pretty boring after just running it. I didn't really care for it, so switched it back up and kept pulling. It was while pulling.
Was that after the V8 alcohol tractor?
Yeah, after I sold it. It was probably 15 or 16, somewhere in there.
I got you.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so tell us how you met your wife. Tell us how you met your wife at a bar. or do that, or hit the Adam button. You don't have to.
That would be 2020 in Louisville at PBR.
Okay.
Yep.
PBR.
Both of us were fairly drunk. Colin was there in the corner, very surprised look on his face when we met there. We were dancing and stuff. So yeah, a little bit out of the normal element. So, but yeah, that was it.
Awesome.
Well, you got to walk us through.
I'm a big Lindsay fan, so it all makes sense of how she came to this picture. You met her at a bar. All great women are met at bars, right? So.
Oh yeah.
What was your pickup line, Kevin? What'd you go with?
We were drunk. I couldn't tell you.
Oh,
You're glad it worked out.
Yeah.
You probably wrote the bull and really impressed her.
No, actually, I had
The other way around?
3 weeks prior, so things were a little rough at the time.
All right, fair enough. All right, we got to go to Colin.
So, Tyler, maybe me and you can go to PBR this weekend and resolve our issues.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of.
That may be a good local establishment spotlight later, but
I'm pretty sure for anybody that's gone to PBR at Louisville, there's a lot of dick to butt there.
Here
It's
we go. Hang on.
Holy shit.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Look at that guy in the
Wow.
background. He's floating.
Love is love. Love is love, Colin. I love it.
Yeah.
That was Chase when he ate shrooms.
All right. Colin, your turn.
All right.
2 truths and 1 lie.
I've worked in the oil field. Pulled a John Deere tractor once. Did not pass my driver's test on the first try.
I know
I'm
the
going.
first one's true.
The
I know
driver's
first
test
one's
is complete bullshit, Colin. That driver's test is bullshit. Tyler, you're next.
Wait, so it's 2 truths and a lie. So, Adam, what did you pick?
I just said I know the number one's true. This guy used to send me Snapchats of him sitting in a porta potty with the door wide open, taking a picture of the beautiful Pennsylvania landscape. I know that's true.
For anybody who was a Colin Ross member for this podcast, the rest of you can get lined up now.
I'm telling you, this guy's got some epic Snapchats back in the day. He's calmed her down a little bit.
I'm going to say that the lie is that you've pulled a John Deere before.
That's all.
I'll second
going
that.
different.
I'll second that. I'll go with the John Deere tractor.
Yeah, Adam didn't pick a lie. He just picked a truth, but there's 2 of those. It's called 2 truths and a lie.
He's only laughing because he knows it is the fucking truth. But I'm gonna go with. I'll say number 2 there. Pulling the John Deere tractor is a lie.
And Chase said it was the driver's test.
Yeah, you're right.
Driver's test is bullshit.
No, I did fail.
John Deere tractor?
Yep.
Would you couldn't parallel park? What the hell?
No. So I took it in my mom's Yukon, and I did a really good job. I mean, first try parallel park, did a great job. Pulled out, got around the front. Guy said, "All right, just go around the front of the building." Pulled up. He's like, "Well, I just want to let you know you failed." And I'm like, "For what?" And he's like, "Well, you can turn your turn signal on coming out of parallel park." And
Oh shit!
I'm like, how many kids do you know parallel park this huge ass SUV, and you're going to fail me on that? Like, not even just a warning. No.
One of my
What was
buddies.
his answer? Did he say you? Go ahead, Adam. Sorry.
One of my buddies, he's the same age as me, same birthday and everything. So we both went and had our driving tests the same day. And I go and I took my mom's Camaro. You got to take a small compact car, right? So you can make which backing up and
Oh gosh, our first
you're not in between. But I got back to school or whatever. And as soon as I got done with the test, I called him. He's like, "Nick, how'd it go?" And he's like, "Dude, I failed." I'm like, "What do you mean you failed?" He said, "I failed, dude. I got to wait a month." He had to wait like another month or something to get it. But he says that he was sitting at a stoplight and it turned green, and the car in the other lane never took off. So he just turned in front of him. They failed him over that. So he had to wait like a whole another month before he could take his driving test. I laughed at him for a long time for that.
Colin, if I'd have been your driver's ed teacher, which by the way, I'd have passed you. If you just showed up, you'd have been passed. But your immediate reaction, or my immediate reaction after you said, I just parked this big SUV, you know what I said? You probably should have drove a smaller car. You guys, will you guys be willing to take us around the? Oh, here we go. Here comes something smart. Come on.
Chase just wore a really short skirt when he went to his driving test, so he'd get past.
I like how Colin looked smart enough to do all of our taxes, yet two of us assumed that he didn't pass his driver's test.
Yeah. No pun. Hey, but we're here. We're going over like we always go. You're in the Chaos shop. Would you be willing to give us and the fans watching a quick, just like aerial view? As they say, aerial view or something, just to show us real quick, and then we got a couple. We got the local establishment spotlight, and we'll get this thing wrapped up. So the speed version of what it looks like in there.
Yeah.
And if there's something we can't see, don't show us. We don't want to show Colin's competitors anything going on.
Here, we'll get it switched around here. So, there we go. Okay. So, behind us is we just keep everything as far as like our storage area.
Rottler cylinder head machine over there or something? What is that?
Yeah, our cylinder home. This is just starting over here at our dyno room. We kind of keep everything pretty much like a bunker. So it's big concrete walls and ceiling and everything. So we have our
have you ever blown anything up in there that may have potentially could have went through a wall?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, nothing. But I mean,
it's called R&D, Adam. It's called R&D.
Yeah. We've had to replace the latches on the doors and stuff because things have hit it and blew it apart and stuff. But yeah, this is kind of our room in here. We do everything. We monitor our all of our engine gauges up above us there, and we run all our dyno stuff off of shafts and couplers instead of a big drive shaft, a little bit different than some. And sorry, I'm just terrible with this, but behind here is our control area. So we do all of our we record everything, do it all on cameras. There's no way to see inside the room, stuff like that.
You guys have been in business long enough. How many estimated dyno pulls have you guys made throughout a year?
I don't know total. Numbers like 200 and some total.
Gotcha.
We don't do a ton of outside dynoing. We do it mostly for ourselves.
Right.
So,
can you put a mini rod engine on there?
We're going to.
Yeah, hey, as I said earlier, hey, Kevin, I love you and Lindsay, but the water's deep. The water's deep.
That's all right. I can't swim, but I'm sure Lindsay can.
Can you really not swim?
No, I sink like a stone. So
you swim like my dad used to, straight to the bottom.
Yep, right down.
Oh gosh. What's this we're looking at here?
That is our cylinder hone, our Rottler cylinder hone. We got that this past year as we had inconsistencies and finishes and stuff like that, and that's been a big factor for us as far as getting ring sealing to be a little bit better, less oil consumption, stuff like that. So that's been a big help. And our Centroid, that's where we do all our porting and different block work and stuff in also. So right now it's set up for an international head, which we're going to be working on actually on Shelton's tomorrow, doing some port work on it. And it's a little dark over here, but it'll kick on in a second. So one of our horizontals, we do a lot of our block work in here. These are some of the international casting. So we get them in raw and just start the process, top and bottom decking, and these are getting ready to cut main saddles and get ready to put in all the main stud holes, stuff like that.
Is this the block everybody bitches about?
Yeah, it's not the block that everybody bitches about.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't aim to say it that way.
Oh no, it's just the bolt hole locations. So we can put it
Oh,
in the
yeah.
location. It just depends on where you put the drill at.
Yeah. I've had that problem before.
Oh yeah. Coming into the next bay. This is all our machine shop side of things. So crank balancer, one of our 4-axis mills. We're making some John Deere parts right now. So we're setting up doing header flanges and things like that. And
You guys make John Deere and international heads?
yes, yep. We're just starting the John Deere. This is some of our first ones here. So this one's just roughed out in order to use for a fixture for fabricating everything, welding everything, and so that's kind of the start of all those. We've made many more of the international.
This is awesome.
You
And then
guys making what's the deal with the connecting rods laying there?
that's a set of Hypermax connecting rods.
Gotcha.
And we are opening up the pin end on those. They're 1 5/8. We're going 1 3/4 on. So
yeah.
Is that top secret or public info?
A lot of those
info, Kevin?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Is that top secret info, or you're revealing stuff to the show, to the guests, or to the fans?
Oh, it's just part of what we do. We're not really one to keep a bunch of secrets or anything like that. If somebody wants to know something, they're more than welcome to ask. So,
right. So a diesel superstock can literally turn a aluminum piston into Jello and push it around that wrist pin like it's nothing.
Yep.
It's amazing to me that the connecting rod and pin really aren't the failure ever. It's mostly the piston, correct?
It is, and I could pick one up in the other end of the shop probably and show you that as I walk back around. The pin board, that's where they get beat up the most, is just pushing up in. So these are a couple of Cummins blocks. We're doing 6-7 Cummins. So these ones are done, I believe, or very close to being done. So, and just some of our other machines and main caps and different things we're making, and our UMCs.
You do any outside work? We call government work.
We do for other builders and other people. Yeah, we'll do plenty of like Harley cylinder heads for drag racing and different things like that.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it just depends. So one of our
on.
I think he holds the record for the fastest bagger. I'm not 100% sure. So then this is the start of a 5-inch pro stock sleeve. So it starts out as a raw piece of tubing, and then we're starting the process here on machining it out. So
gotcha.
We're not able to. We have to run a steel sleeve because of our bore spacing. It's so tight. We are not able to make a ductile sleeve work. We tried that, just not strong enough. And this is the big block Deere. So this is mocking up of some adjacent stuff here right now, actually. So we're hoping to have this thing also ready for February. Hoping he's able to make it in there also. We hope.
Thanksgiving's next week, boys. February we get here really fast.
Yeah, it's
we're all right. Kevin and Colin, we're sold. I'm pretty sure we're going to get one of these diesel blowing classes. Me, Adam, and Tyler are going to team up our own vehicle. After seeing this, I think, would you be willing to work with us if we come to you? I mean, of
course,
you know us a little bit.
Chase has got the big checkbook, so we will be there.
I don't have the checkbook, but I think we want. I think we need to do this. So
yeah, it's a lot more work than the Mini. I can assure you.
For you listeners that are listening on our downloaded podcast, go to our YouTube page and go to the hour and 32-minute or 34-minute segment and look at how brilliant some of this work of art these guys do. It's I didn't know it was this cool, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Yep.
For our audio listeners only, we're taking a shop tour here, and he's showing us around some of the machinery that he has. Nice, clean shop, and a lot of stuff in production, a lot of stuff in the works. And you can tell these guys spend a lot of hours in the shop working, constantly thinking of new ways to make parts better. You guys are also developing a new gear drive system for a front of these diesel tractors, which I think is, needed to be done a long time ago. The belt systems just can't take the pressure anymore. And I'm sure a lot of the failures that guys are having are due to those belt failures. But excellent shop, boys. I mean, you guys obviously work hard at it, and you guys are putting out top-notch quality work.
Go back. Look at all those beer cans over there. After we look at this cool piece, I saw a bunch of beer cans on the table.
That's awesome.
Is it the gear drive? Is it the gear drive, Adam? Or
yeah,
Kevin,
that'll be the gear drive that goes on there.
Yep. So that's
thing.
one half of it there, and then the other half is this. That's the front face, and as they're together, it's a little easier to see over here. But as they're together, it's all one unit on the front end.
Dang.
Right on. Looks very classy.
Wow.
That
looks like an alcohol engine. That looks like a V8 alcohol engine.
We actually trap the damper inside of there, so it's sort of a dual purpose. And but this is, as I back up a little bit here, sorry.
Holy shit, that's badass.
So we use this whole cart is our for our dyno, obviously, but it is a simulation of the tractor from front to the middle. So everything about it is the same. So the intercooler location, all the piping, plumbing, everything gets done in here, and we have it all hooked up. So we don't have to have the tractor to be able to dyno.
That's so cool.
Well, no, I mean, it's perfect because everybody knows. I mean, you move the turbo location, you move the exhaust location, you move the intercooler location. It all fools with your numbers when you're dynoing. I mean, you need to simulate as close as you can. That's why the hub dyno and drag racing has become such a amazing piece, because you literally take the car, take the rear tires off of it, hook it to the dyno, and it goes from the dyno to the track and nothing changes. And you guys are basically trying to do the same thing.
We are, and it's getting it all to work as a unit, and that's the hardest part. And the tractors are difficult because every one of them's unique. Every one of them's different. So I'm hoping if I can make this work, get the computer not to be asleep here. There we go. So we actually take, and this is the 1206 actually here. So we have everything in an assembly, and we build all this and know exactly where everything is, where all the pipes line up, where everything hooks up. So we know for sure that everything clears, moves, works, does everything it's supposed to before we actually build the tractor.
Shit, dude, I'm over here putting an engine in a tractor that it wasn't made for, and I'm setting shit on jack stands and putting stuff around. This is way more sophisticated than us mini rod pullers are. So we're in deep shit if this guy ever gets it figured out in the mini rods.
I feel like what the Europeans do too. Like they lay it all out in SolidWorks and
yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, they do. I mean, it's honestly the way of the future, man. I mean, you guys are really, I mean, if for anybody who doesn't know how these computer programs work, they can simulate weak points of a chassis. They can simulate the torques and stresses on things and show hot areas of where you need to force and embrace stuff. The technology that we got, it's almost AI now in the software world. So that's awesome.
But we can actually, so we're showing the rear axle, part of the front of the transmission, and all the driveline. We actually get all this information with an arm, a CMM arm, and we don't put any lineup shafts or anything in. We actually get all this information. We simulate where everything is. We'll make our motor mounts, machine them out, and then we'll just drop the engine right down in the chassis, and
everything lines up.
Yep. Yeah. No more lineup bars or anything.
Very cool.
So
my question would be, like, we've got CNC machines at our work, and it is always awesome to see the stupid, simple things that you never should make on a CNC machine be made on a CNC machine. A prime example is my dad made some shelves for a shower he has in a cabin in our Haas V8. And so, like, I feel like you guys
when you can't
examples.
Well, the best way is when you can, you will.
Right.
And I think a lot of it, like these are good examples of that. Like, these brackets here, they hold the inner side shield. You could use a piece of chain. Some guys do that. Some people use a flat piece of plate, whatever. But the nice part is once we make these, we can remake it. We make it for 2 different tractors, whatever, and it all's consistent.
Probably not just that, but we all have scrap metal laying around our shop, and if the piece meets the size, you can make something out of it that you would, like you said, would be a chain or whatever somebody welds together. There's try to make it look professional and nice.
I want to hear about the non-pulling related item though, like when Colin Ross spent 5 hours on the CNC to make a pizza cutter. Like everybody's got something.
God, we always do some dumb stuff.
See, come on, let's hear it.
Honestly, one of the dumbest things that I can think of is I saw this on Instagram and I gave it to Ed Washabaugh. He's the guy that he basically does all this right here. The laying everything out, and he's one of the by far the best machinists in the world. If I get this thing turned around here, and I found this deal here. It was on some Instagram page, but basically kind of looked like this. And there's just a velocity stack for a turbo, and it does absolutely nothing for power, but it just looks so freaking cool.
The guy was sitting there taking a piss, flushed the toilet, and goes, "Look at the way that water's swirling around. Let's make it look like that."
It's kind of like Adam. It's like Adam's sheet metal on his meter rod.
Right.
Yeah, I mean it does nothing, but it just it looks cool. I mean, I'll show you the finished product with it, but just stuff like that that's totally unnecessary and probably not worth it, but looks so cool when it's done.
It does. If nobody's really looked underneath the hood of one of these tractors, the outsides are beautiful, but now guys are really taking a lot of pride in what the engine bay looks like. I mean, these things are absolutely beautiful. Colin's probably got more hours polishing than I've ever had in my life in probably 1 week, but that's pretty awesome looking stuff right there, man.
Yeah, just stuff like that. I mean, does it do anything? No. I mean, I told a guy I made 20 horse one time, and he totally believed it. I was totally lying.
But see, Colin, that's bad business. You got to tell him that shit makes all kinds of power, even if it doesn't. That's how a lot of people make money. They sell a guy a bill of goods. As well as I do. Newsflash, jack shit. But
newsflash, Adam Kessler sells motors for a living. By the way.
Yes, that's right. And you know what, Chase? I don't sell a line of bullshit. So
we're not here to advertise you. We're not here to advertise you. We're here to talk to Colin and Kevin Campbell. Although highly respect you and what you do. So, guys, that was freaking awesome.
Yes, thank you for that
tour. I had no idea. I had no idea. And Kevin, I gotta say, I'm kind of. I think I'm a little more nervous about Lindsay now in mini rod pulling, seeing your capabilities. You, on the other hand, we'll give you another year, but Lindsay probably is going to kick everybody's ass now that she has these resources.
I already beat her a couple times. It's no big deal.
Okay, here we go. Tyler, been a great show. It's been a different type show with multiple guys in a manufacturing shop. We kind of went and did a tour that we've never done before, and I think this could be something we do in the future. So
I think we can
take us home with this.
We can chalk Chaos Fabrication up to our local establishment spotlight tonight. What do you guys think?
Absolutely. We just checked out.
Did you guys have something to mind?
Yeah, and unless one of the boys here had some place that they wanted to call for the local establishment spotlight, we're gonna call Chaos it. What do you think, boys?
It's just fine with us.
Yeah.
Local establishment. So all you 10% fan. I'm sorry, Colin.
All right.
All you 10% of the world podcast people, call Chaos Fabrication. Do you know the phone number? Call this tomorrow, and they will buy you a beer for free if you call their phone tomorrow. Thursday, right? Thursday only. Thursday, November 16th only. Call Chaos Fabrication for your free beer. Disclose the phone number and call. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Right?
You're fine.
I just have to come here in person to get it.
I just wanted to, shout out to all the guys that work here. It's not just me and this guy that does all this. It takes a team of people to do this, and highly skilled people. We only got 10 guys here, but every one of those guys is a huge piece of the puzzle to get any one of these tractors down the track. Dylan Hopkins, he's one of our young kids, does a great job. Jason Dorn, he's the head of the machine shop, handles that with ease. Kevin and I don't really have to worry about much going on over there. Ed Washaball, who I mentioned, that does a lot of design work and stuff, and he's my guy that we go to if we want something crazy out of the box stuff. Like, he's the guy for that. He does an awesome job. Josh Smith does a great job as well. He's always at it, always consistent. I believe we have the best fabricator in the world. I'll put him up against anybody. His name's George Conroy. Great dude, great fabricator. He can build. His welding is second to none. Aiden Hodges, he's took over a lot of the fab stuff as well. He's done a great job. He's learning. He's very young, but we're excited with him because George is teaching him a lot of stuff, and he's doing a great job, and he's just like a sponge. He soaks all that.
Need more of that. We need more of that. There's not too many young guys out there.
There's not. Yeah, and that's what I like is he's a young kid, but he just gets it. And I think in pulling, like, it's very hard for some kids. The drag racing, the roundy round stuff. It's very different than pulling, but he gets it. Does a great job. Rocky got all the books and pretty much whatever we need him to do. He does a stellar job for us. And Lucas Pickens, he just came on. He's pretty new, but he's done a great job as well. I like to thank my mom and dad, too, for the opportunity, because without them, I wouldn't be sitting here and everything, and all the guys at Ross Tractor Sales. They keep the tractor going. I can't be there all the time because obviously our business is growing with customer stuff. I have to be here a lot more. So Frank Van Cleve, Sean Orndorff, my dad, they do a great job, keeping the tractor going. My dad, best engine builder in the world, and I've learned a lot from him, and I've learned from this guy next to me, and I just wanted to say that. That's all.
Colin, you're a first-class guy, man. There's no doubt about that.
I think all those guys need bonuses. All those guys need bonuses.
Yeah. You're a hard-nosed competitor. You and your family are, but you are first class, and you appreciate and love the sport, and that does not go unnoticed by your love for the people around you. That's no operation. I don't care who they are, is a one-person operation, and there's never too much time to add to the show to shout those people out. So thank you for doing that on behalf of the No Practice podcast. Kevin, you got any parting words for anyone? And Colin just shouted out every person that shops name first and last name, which I was kind of impressed by. You got to thank Lindsay. We know you met her at a PBR bar in Louisville, but anyone else you want to shout out before we sign off here?
Well, obviously all the guys here, that's the main thing, is Colin went all over. And it makes our job much easier because we bring them ideas, we tie it together. And a lot of the stuff we come up with, it's just an idea, it's a thought, it's a random drawing that's terrible, stick figure thing, and they come up with exactly what we want. How that happens, I really don't know. But, that's kind of the magic of what we do and how it works for us. And we're competitive, and that's kind of our deal. And I think going along the lines of what we do with, say, Colin's tractor, we're always pushing the edge and trying new things there. And, I'm looking forward to that same thing with the mini stuff. I've didn't think I'd ever enjoy or ever make that jump. I didn't think that was really for me.
That's awesome.
The noisemaker stuff. I didn't think that was for me, but Lindsay opened my eyes to that, and Jeff Hurt has been a big part of that also, and that's been a big stepping stone, and we're excited about next year and how it'll go.
Awesome.
We are too. We're looking forward to having you.
We can't wait to beat your head in the ground with your you and Jeff Hurt's tires. But in the meantime, we love you guys. We love having you in class.
Yeah.
Colin, I'm sure you've heard the stories about tires and mean rod pulling. We're not going to bore our guests with that, but no. In all seriousness, you guys,
they're out. You just got to find them.
All right, guys.
Yeah,
thank you for the shop
we're gonna do it. We're gonna do a whole nother show about mini rod tires, but we don't want to bore all our fans with all this. We do have to do an additional couple shout outs. You guys mentioned a couple of your clients or customers, better word for it, being in the farm show or hoping to get in the farm show. It's getting that time of year. You know, when like sometime December or Thanksgiving means farm show announcement, right? Who's in, who's out. Is that the general rule of thumb? November or Thanksgiving to after banquet season. So Full Pool has free ticket games, and we all know how hard it is to get tickets at the Farm Machinery Show. You can go on here, the two-wheel drive class, for example, there's 24 people get invited. You make your selections of who you think's in or who's out. You win two free tickets for the whole week at the Farm Machinery Show. You new people to the sport of pulling. Farm Machinery Show is the most prestigious pull in the pulling world. It's invitation only. Get your free tickets. They're hard to get. $200 value, $400 total because you get two. I did my picks. I picked Colin number 1, triple bypass. I'm pretty sure they're a lock. Colin, did you apply? You applied, right? You applied this year?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So I'm good on my picks, but sign up, go play along, tell your friends you get free tickets. It's free to play. Outside of that, we have the PPL. I'm going to meet Tyler at the PPL banquet, as we said earlier this weekend. It's other banquet seasons.
Are you boys coming to the banquet?
Yep, we'll see you there.
Are you going to be there?
Yep.
So can we relive a moment in PBR at some point? So this is a local establishment spotlight. The PBR in Louisville on 4th Street Live is sentimental to the pulling community. If you haven't been there, we could probably get them on the show again one day in the future, or the PBR crew on the show. But I think this Friday night we need to have a reenactment of how all this meant. I think that'd be good. So pulling fans, come to Louisville Friday, PBR, 4th Street Live, see how this happened with Kevin and his wife, Lindsay.
See Kevin with his tongue down his wife's throat.
That's it. Well, you may just need a live from PBR then show. That's probably what you need.
It's a little loud in there.
For sure.
That's all right.
So, we got Thanksgiving coming up. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We do this show every 2 weeks. The next show will be, I think, November 29th, 2 weeks from now. So happy Thanksgiving. Once again, shout out to Colin Ross, Kevin Campbell, Chaos Fabrication for coming on, giving us this awesome interview, behind-the-scenes tour. We normally do a sign-off. Kevin, I know you have a drink in your hand. Colin, are you drinking anything currently?
He's got a self of water.
Nice water. Well, let's do a sign-off cheers. We'll do a sign-off cheers here, man. It's been great having you. Thanks for doing everything you do for pulling. And can't wait to party with you guys this weekend. Tyler, Adam, anything to add? I'm sorry I rambled.
Don't forget to subscribe to us on Apple, Spotify, you name it. Any podcast, we're probably on there. So subscribe, give us some ratings, email us at nopractice.box@gmail.com.
If you're brave enough to email.
Keep the hate mail coming, boys.
Keep the hate mail coming. We don't give a shit. No practice
inbox at Gmail.
That's right.
We don't care what you say because we got something better coming for you. As far as that goes, hope you guys have a good Thanksgiving and be thankful for what we do have. And I will. I'm sure I'll run into you guys. I will not be at the PPL banquet, but I'm sure I'll run into you guys soon. So.
Yeah, we're all going to have a kick-ass time without Adam, but we'll let you know how much fun you missed out on, Adam.
That's all right.
Most good times happen without Adam involved, to be honest with you. So, cheers, guys.
I tell you what, I'm looking at this page here, and none of y'all have a kid, so it'll be all right when you guys catch up.
Kevin does.
Yep.
I know. Well, I'm looking at you, Chase, and Tyler. So I'm talking about our little group here.
I hear you.
All right, we can't get over 2 hours.
Kevin,
30 seconds away.
Kevin, Colin, under 2 hours. Thank you, guys. It's been real. Stay on after hours for our behind the scenes, so don't sign off yet. We'll see you in a second.
Okay.
Thanks, fans. Love you.
Peace.
Thank you.
That's a wrap.
Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the No Practice Podcast.
Have a good one. Bye.
Stay tuned for the next episode, where we guarantee there still won't be any practice.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.